To have family and friends come up, and you never want to disappoint.
As much of a perfectionist as you are, though, can the emotional level be any higher than it might be in some other ballpark in which you pitch?
No, not really. I just say it is nice to have your family here, being able to watch, but that doesn't affect my mentality or my emotion out on the mound.
Are you past the ticket master stage of your career where you worry about making sure everybody gets in that you'd like to have in?
A little bit, yeah, but I always get the last minute text, especially when I'm pitching. It's kind of tough because I don't want to be texting back and forth with everybody on the day of my start. So everybody is always last minute, but it comes with territory. I deal with it and just kind of forward it on to Brian and. Or take a guy and he'll take care of it.
So what are we expecting in the Verlander clan making their way to the ballpark?
I have no idea. Like I said, it's not yet tomorrow yet. The last minute tickets will make their way in, I'm sure.
Back here in Baltimore at Camden Yards, to the shadow of Utah Street up beyond the right field wall here in Baltimore. The thoughts of Justin Verlander as he gets set to make another start here against the Orioles. And the Tigers going for the sweep today. Here is the Tigers starting lineup presented by your Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. A couple of changes today. Rajai Davis will lead off. He'll play in left field, followed by Ian Kinsler and Miguel Cabrera, who had the biggest home run of the game last night. Victor Martinez, the DH. J.D. Martinez in right field. Austin Jackson in center. A bottom three of Kelly, Holiday, and Danny Worth, and they will be facing the right-handed offerings of Mr. Kevin Gausman.
We're taking a peek at his AAA numbers. He was pretty good down at Norfolk, their AAA affiliate, but he has a tall task here this afternoon against the best offense in the American League. He's a right-hander with a power arm, fastball 94 to 98, complimentary breaking ball, and a changeup that kind of acts like a splitter because he throws it so hard. Tim Hortons will sponsor the starting defensive alignment behind Kevin Gausman this afternoon. In the outfield, they've got Lowe, they've got Jones, they've got Markakis, they've got Scope and Hardy up the middle, Machado, Davis on the corners. Clevenger, 3 big knocks a couple of days ago. He is behind the plate once again, and Gold Gloves for J.J. Hardy the last couple of seasons.
And Gold Glover and an all-star. J.J. Hardy anchoring the shortstop position for the O's as the Tigers send Rajai Davis to the plate. He'll start things off here this afternoon on a cloudy, overcast day. It was misting here in the morning. Lights are on at the ballpark. And Davis set to go to work. So is Kevin Gausman. The first pitch of today's ball game is a strike. Davis, then Kinsler, then Cabrera facing the right-hander Gausman, just 23 years of age. Here's the 0-1. Slap foul down the right field line, 0-2.
Tigers initially were going to start a left-hander today against the Tigers, but the Tigers are 9-2 this year against left-handers. Therefore, Buck Showalter went down to the minors to get Gausman to bring him up to see if he could overpower this Tigers offense.
Swing and a miss, and he strikes out Rajai Davis to start the ball game.
Tigers saw Gausman last year, no decision. He pitched 6 innings, gave up 5 hits against the Tigers, and gave up only 1 run in 96 pitches. Number 23 prospect in the top 100 as far as minor leaguers are concerned is Gausman, so he's got a bright future.
Here's Ian Kinsler down with 1 out. He is tall, he is lanky, 6'3", 190, a native of Colorado. Kinsler, 2 out of 7 of the series with a big home run in game 1. They foul that one back out of play. 0-1 the count on Ian.
Fastball right there to Kinsler, 96. Gausman can get up a little bit above that to about 98, 99.
Kinsler doing some pretty good work here in the month of May. 354. He has scored 9 times this month. The 0-1 is low. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Despite the fact that Gausman's got that power arm, we talked about the velocity. They are still shading Ian Kinsler to the pull field in the infield. Everybody shaded around from their respective positions.
That'll get back into the seats in a hurry. For Kinsler, 19 RBIs. He is also among the league leaders in runs scored with 25 already this year. That's good for 9th in the American League. He is either batted first or second in the lineup, depending on what Brad Ausmus wants to do with Davis. Gosman tried to climb the ladder there at 96, and Kinsler laid off. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here's Miguel Cabrera waiting on deck. And he missed with it. Full count now, 3-2 on Kinsler. Gosman, the first round pick of the Orioles in 2012, so he's gotten to the big leagues fairly quickly. Was up in the majors last year. And there is strike 3. Kinsler thought he had a walk. Gosman instead has his second strikeout.
It may have been a touch low and inside, but maybe a little bit too close to take.
By the way, the field conditions today are presented by Ace Hardware and the Scotts Company. 61 degrees. It is damp. There's no question about that. It is cloudy. The lights are on, as we mentioned.
Wasn't it about 90 yesterday here?
It was near 90, yeah. There's a drive down the right field line, just foul. So the temperature has taken a dip in just one day here in Baltimore. 0-1 on Cabrera, who absolutely silenced the crowd here last night in the 9th inning.
First, he got the crowd all riled up when they were replaying that Rajai Davis steal because he was motioning safe and the crowd got all fired up, and then he went out and beat him with a 3-run homer.
And for Miguel, it was his 6th home run of the season.
That was Miggy's 11th go-ahead home run, 9th inning or later, since he's put on a Tigers uniform.
Ball inside, and the count goes to 1-1. I think actually the crowd was silenced when Torrey Hunter walked with 2 outs because they knew who was coming up next. And what their fate might be in Cabrera certainly came through for the Tigers again. There's a strike on the outer edge. 1-2 on Miguel.
Miguel does not agree with that last strike that was given to Gosman by the home plate umpire, John Tumpane. Miggy's also gone to his no stride approach. He's not picking that front foot up. He does that against guys that throw really, really hard. Just kind of lifts the heel off the ground and then puts it right back down.
Bouncing ball to short, right at J.J. Hardy. It'll be a 1-2-3 inning for Kevin Gosman. We'll go to the bottom of the first. No score. Justin Verlander, a perfect 6-0 here at Camden Yards, and he is presented today by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
If the Tigers are going to get the sweep, they've got the right guy on the bump today. Verlander checks in with a 4-2 record, a 2.67 earned run average, pitching some of his best baseball of his career the first 6 weeks of the season.
So the Orioles here in the bottom of the first inning will send Nick Markakis to the plate to start things off. JV at 4-2, 2.67 ERA, start number 9. Markakis has pretty much been throttled here in this series, 0 for 8. And he came in with an 18-game hitting streak that came to an end in Game 1.
Even a guy like Markakis, who had been on fire, as you mentioned, when you go up against this Tigers starting staff, which is the best in the American League, it's going to be tough to get hits on a consistent basis.
High fly ball left field, playable. Rajai Davis under it. 1 up, 1 away. Here's the rest of the starting lineup for the Orioles, presented by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Machado and Jones round out the top 3 in their lineup. We got Davis, Cruz, and Hardy in the middle. Clevenger is catching today. Matt Wieters on the DL, and Clevenger had a big night on Monday against the Tigers. Scope and Lowe rounding out their lineup here this afternoon. Manny Machado is still trying to work his way into shape and into form. He is batting 191. Started the season on the disabled list after knee surgery, and he looks at strike 1. Once Machado gets going, he should put up numbers like he showed last year, which were awfully impressive. The 0-1 pitch is outside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Gausman was getting that pitch last half inning. That ball was right on the outside corner, but John Tumpane did not give it to Justin.
Here's the 1-1. Missed inside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Verlander against Baltimore on April 6th went 8 innings and gave up just 2 runs, but took the loss. Low and in, 3-1. He threw 112 on that day in the loss to the Orioles. Struck out 3.
The 2 losses that Justin has this year, he gave up 2 earned runs in both of those.
Right back up the middle. Kinsler will backhand it and flip the first for the out.
And nifty play there by Ian Kinsler, grabbing that ball in the backhand, then throwing off balance to get Machado at first base. And Tigers defensive alignment behind Justin Verlander. This afternoon, you got J.D. Martinez making his 2nd start in right field this season. Last time he did it just a few days ago on May 8th. Davis and Jackson in the outfield with J.D. Martinez. He also got a start in last night's game in left field.
Torrey Hunter gets the day off today. Here's Adam Jones. He rifles one into left field on the very first pitch he sees from Verlander.
Yeah, the middle of their order here really has not had a whole lot of success against Justin Verlander in their careers, and that's why Adam Jones jumped on the first pitch that he saw.
He's going to bring up the cleanup man, Chris Davis, who is 0 for 8 in the series. Ian way over. Third baseman today, Don Kelly, is playing in short right field. The Tigers employing the shift here against Davis. Jones has swiped 3 this year. Orioles still in first place in the East, despite the fact a couple of their big bats really haven't gotten going yet. Davis is one of them. He had an oblique problem, which landed him on the disabled list. Coming off a year to remember for Davis with his 53 home runs last season. A little bit outside, and the count goes 2-0. Verlander in his career against the Orioles is 8-2. And they mentioned how good he's been in this ballpark. Tiger victory last night. 7th straight on the road. And they have done some of their best work away from Comerica this year. That's outside as well, 3-0. I remember Jim Leyland used to say, Rob, that he loved taking his team on the road because he wanted to showcase what the Tigers were all about, and they've done some really good work on the road this year.
Yeah, when they get off the bus, with a lot of swagger, and that's kind of easy to do when you have a Scherzer, a Verlander, a Miggy, and a Victor, and a host of other guys that are really good big league baseball players. Dave Dombrowski, their president, CEO, and general manager, has done a magnificent job at constructing this 2014 team, and really has done an outstanding job since taking over as a general manager, rebuilding the entire organization.
Davis thought that last pitch might have been a little bit high. 3-2. So that means Jones will be on the run, and Cabrera will move behind the runner at first base defensively. And it's bounced to the right side. Kelly in short right field will scoop it up. Quick throw is in time for the out. Right into the shift. And the inning is over. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left. On to the second we go. Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank, a part of Detroit and the community since 1849. Chrysler, imported from Detroit. And by Lean Cuisine, Stouffer's entrees and Hot Pockets. Stouffer's, freshly made, simply frozen. Back here in Baltimore, a little bit of an overcast day here in Baltimore today. No scores. We go to the top of the second. Tigers in search of a sweep here against the O's. They've got Victor Martinez leading it off. Martinez, then J.D. Martinez, and then Austin Jackson. Kevin Gausman got him 1-2-3 in the first inning. And Victor looks at ball 1. Martinez now has hit safely in 4 straight. His home run yesterday, or last night, landed on Utah Street out beyond the right field wall. Here's the 1-0. And when he hit it, Ron, I knew he got it. I mean, and obviously we knew he hit it pretty good, but I did not realize it went that far last night.
I didn't initially, but Hunter was throwing hard. He was throwing 96 miles an hour, and Victor was able to clear the hips out of the way, which got the barrel of the bat right over the heart of the plate, and boy, he squared it up.
It was home run number 9 for Martinez. Ball low and inside. Two and one the count on Victor.
Gausman just kind of looks the part of him now, doesn't he?
He does. There's a pitch outside. You'll notice he wears the glasses. Gausman used to wear contacts, but he just didn't feel comfortable with them. And he admitted that there were several times last year that he would cross up Matt Wieters because he just simply couldn't see the signs.
Well, you can't be crossing up Matt Wieters, not the franchise.
And so they decided, you know what, you better get some glasses. So they scrapped the contacts. That's in the air to left. Right at David Lowe. And 4 up, 4 down against Gausman. We know this, he has some really good stuff.
Fastball 95 to 99. Curveball, slider still a work in progress, as is the changeup. But once he perfects those secondary pitches, he can be a really nice front of the rotation starter for the Baltimore Orioles for a number of years.
He was ranked their second best pitching prospect behind Dylan Bundy, who underwent some arm surgery.
Many felt like he should have broke camp with the Baltimore Orioles. Pitched very well in spring training, but they wanted him to go down and get some innings in.
J.D. Martinez may have tweaked something in his back on that last swing.
He did.
.219 batting average for the Tigers right fielder today. Martinez has played left and right with Detroit. And he looks at a ball low, 1-1. There's that first swing. And then he reaches back to grab his back. That one's wasted back into the seats. 1-2 now on J.D. Martinez, former Houston Astro. There's Jackson waiting on deck. Pulled on the ground, foul just outside of the bag at third. Gausman last year had 3 stints with the big club. Battery mate today, Steve Clevenger. And Martinez sends it back into the seats. 6'3", 190. The particulars on Kevin Gausman. 23 years of age. Played his college ball at LSU. Excuse me, check swing there. So Martinez continues to battle here.
Good fastball. Most of his breaking balls have been hanging. He threw Victor Martinez a couple of breaking balls that weren't very good. That last one to J.D. Martinez was not a good breaking ball either. Let's see if he commands this one a little bit better.
Nope, he bounced it in.
If he continues to show the Tigers that he cannot get that breaking ball over, and the second time through the batting order, the Tigers have a veteran-laden lineup. They will figure that out, and they will sit on that 96-mile-per-hour cheese that Gausman is featuring here today.
High fly ball, right field. Nick Markakis under it. 2 outs. Our predictions for today's Fox Sports Detroit Tigers Player of the Game, presented by McDonald's new triple cheeseburger for only $2. Here they are. I've got Ian Kinsler.
How about that steal Rajai Davis had last night in the 9th inning? There were so many things that went on in the 9th inning that kind of went unnoticed in that big Miggy home run.
but you can't get credit for that steal today.
I don't get a carryover?
No carryover. John Keating with Austin Jackson is here, his player of the game today. Speaking of which, here is AJ with 2 outs, nobody on. Gausman has retired 5 straight to start this ball game. Jackson rolls one foul right by Dave Clark.
Told you that the Tigers saw Gausman last year. He made a handful of starts in the big leagues, and he overpowered the Tigers. They pitched 6 innings. It was a no decision. He gave up 1 earned run against Detroit. And that was a team with Prince Fielder and Peralta and Infante.
A lot of pop. Here's the 1-2. And we'll get back into the seats.
2014 version of the Tigers, however, equipped a little bit better to beat a guy like Gausman. Once they get some runners on base, they can put a little pressure on him to see if he can hold runners, and guys can steal some bases. They can manufacture some runs. They didn't manufacture a lot of runs last year, although they had a really good offense.
Well, by and large, the core of this Tigers team has remained the same from last year and the year before that, with some minor changes this year to make them a little bit different. Obviously, the manager is the biggest change at the top. Brad Ausmus taking over. But it seems, Rod, that the camaraderie on this team and the chemistry is just so good.
They're having a lot of fun. They really enjoy being around one another.
And really, you can't tell what the chemistry will be like until you get them together through spring training, through the first couple of months.
Torrey Hunter, tremendous leader, gets today off. He'll have tomorrow off, so he'll be fresh on Friday to go up against John Lester. That's a good pitching match on Friday.
Driven to center field, hit well. Jones on the move. He's going to have room, though. And so the Tigers, for the second straight inning, go 1-2-3 against Gausman. Here comes the bottom of the second. Jabba Chamberlain before the start of the game, prior to inning number 1. He's giving Danny Wirth a little bit of a get ready massage. Jabba is one of those guys in the dugout that just loves to have a lot of fun.
Looks like he's got a future after his baseball career is done. Yeah, he's a good teammate. You know, you don't really know a whole lot about a guy when you're playing against him or you're broadcasting a game and he's on the other team. You don't really get a chance to know them. But Jabba's a good man.
You know, it's a good point because, you know, you're right. I mean, all you see is a guy on the field, but until you travel with him, see him in the dugouts and the hotels, the locker room, he really is a good dude. His dad, of course, did a great job raising him. We had a feature on Harlan, his father. Great teammate, and great to have him aboard this year. Nelson Cruz, the batter, and he fouls it back out of play.
We told you 3, 4, 5 guys in the Baltimore Orioles lineup really have not had a lot of success against Justin Verlander in his career, even though Adam Jones did get a base hit his first time up. But Jones, Davis, and Cruz usually struggle against Justin.
And the struggles continue for Nelson Cruz. First strikeout for Justin Verlander, 1 gone. It's not often that you see a guy just kind of knife right through the hearts of another team's order, but that certainly is what Verlander has been able to do. Here are the updated numbers now.
And those are no small samplings as far as the at-bats are concerned.
Ball 1 to J.J. Hardy.
Jones 5 for 31, Davis 4 for 22, and Nelson Cruz now 3 for 23. All 3 with sub-200 batting average against Justin.
J.J. Hardy, 255 batting average, 1 for 8 in the series. Fouled that one off, and the count 2-1.
Good changeup there thrown by Justin Verlander to J.J. Hardy. Those of you that have watched a lot of Tigers baseball, we point out the fact that there aren't a lot of right-handers in the game that like to throw changeups to right-handed batters because it usually fades down and into the right-handers, and that's where a lot of good right-handed power hitters like Hardy will do damage, but Justin is not afraid to do it. Max will do it, Anibal will do it, and Porcello started to do a whole lot of it himself, and that's why his record is now 6-1.
Waiting on deck, Steve Clevenger. Here's the 2-2. Outside, 3 balls, 2 strikes on J.J. Hardy.
J.J. Hardy was the final out of Justin Verlander's first no-hitter. Flew out to Maglio Ordonez. He was playing for the Milwaukee Brewers at the time.
That was some kind of night. And really, when you looked at Verlander's 2 no-hitters, the other was against the Toronto Blue Jays. He did it in different fashion.
Yeah, and Rajay Davis was the final out of that no-hitter. How about that? Both guys in the ballpark here today.
Pretty neat. Verlander in that no-hitter against Milwaukee was throwing 100 in the final inning of the game. High fly ball center field. Jackson under it. And there are 2 gone. Right now, let's check in with John Keating, who has more on Jabba Chamberlain.
Well, you guys were talking about Jabba. There's actually some discord in the Tigers clubhouse. Don Kelly's a big Pittsburgh Penguins fan. Jabba pulling for the New York Rangers. The Rangers knocked off Kelly's Penguins last night. Jabba's actually pretty good pals with Henrik Lundqvist and Carl Hagelin, the former Michigan Wolverine. They were neighbors in New York. He's also pals with P.K. Subban, the Montreal defenseman, and the Canadiens are playing against the Boston Bruins tonight in Boston. And Jabba's going to be there. Game 7 between Boston and Montreal should be great fun. And Jabba Chamberlain pulling hard for the Habs tonight in the 7th and deciding game.
Hey, Keith, see if Jabba can get us a couple of tickets.
Yeah, we can work on that. I'm not sure we could afford them, even if he could get them for us.
Well,
that is a hot ticket.
Jabba, good man. He might just let you roll with him, John.
Maybe we can ask. Sure.
All right, Keith, thanks. Dropping some NHL knowledge on us here. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and it's outside. 1 ball and 1 strike on Steve Clevenger. Big night here in the first game of the series. Clevenger was 3 for 4, had a couple of doubles. Now the 1-1. 1-2.
Good changeup at 82 by Justin Verlander. Fastball, curveball, slider, changeup, all 3. Thrown by Justin Verlander out of the same window, the same arm slot with good arm speed. Really sails all of his off-speed pitches.
Fouled away. You really start to wonder, though, Rod, how much this Orioles team will miss Matt Wieters. We talked about his offensive capabilities, but also behind the plate as well.
Oh, they're going to miss him. There's no doubt about that. They're going to travel Wieters despite the fact that he's on the disabled list because he's such a leader to help out the other young catchers.
Orioles certainly have had to deal with some injuries early on, as have the Tigers. Of course, the Tigers have lost Bruce Rondon for the year.
They don't quite know exactly what's going on with the elbow of Wieters, and they're hoping that it's not the worst. Tommy John.
Meanwhile, a strikeout of Clevenger looking. That's the second strikeout of the game for JB. Tigers baseball this afternoon, presented by Bell Tire. Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Arby's. Try Arby's Smokehouse Brisket Sandwich today. And by Bell Tire. Get the lowest tire price, period. Bell Tire. Back here at Oriole Park at Camden Yards. Mario and Pemba, Rod Allen, glad you're with us here this afternoon as we wrap up this series. Chris Wazalewski is our producer. Brian Moss, our director today. Don Kelly is starting things off here in the top of the third. Kelly, Holiday, Worth against Gosman, and ball one misses outside.
It's a good day off for the youngster, Nick Castellanos, who had struck out 5 times in the first couple of games of this series. So it's always good to get away from it for a day and just kind of chill on the bench and watch the action.
And always good to have a guy like Kelly who you can plug into multiple positions. Castellanos will take this one from the bench this afternoon. Kelly fouls it back out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Pretty good start this year for Don Kelly, batting .314 in limited playing time. 1-2 is fouled back.
And Gosman likes to throw the elevated fastball with 2 strikes. Upstairs at about 96. He's done that quite often here today to the hitters he's been able to get ahead of. A breaking ball, however, he hasn't found it yet. And as a hitter, when you recognize the fact that a guy can't get his breaking ball over, I mean, really all you have to do is just zero in on 1 pitch. That's it. Although it's not easy to hit 96.
Right to the second baseman, Scope. Hey, see the Tigers play the Texas Rangers on May 22nd at 108. Get 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, 4 bags of chips, and 4 drinks, all for a discounted price. It's the Tigers Weekday Value Pack. Call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com.
Texas Rangers always have a really good baseball team led by Ron Washington, their manager.
It's going to be a rugged season again in the West. Oakland, LA, Seattle, Texas, all bunched up there in the West. Here's Holiday. 276 for Bryan. Spelling Alex Avila here this afternoon. Ball inside.
About 85% of the pitches that Gausman has thrown here so far today have been fastballs, trying to overpower this Detroit lineup.
2-1. Bouncing ball back up the middle. Scope with a nice play. He could have bounced one into first. Safe. Infield hit for Bryan Holiday.
Scope has an outstanding arm. As a matter of fact, he's a second baseman, but he has the arm strength of a shortstop, and he did a nice job getting to this ball, showing some range, but it looked like he kind of lost his footing. He really couldn't get anything on the throw. Therefore, bounce it over to Davis, but not before Bryan Holiday crossing the bag. He made that close.
It's a really good play there by Scope. Here's the number 9 hitter, Danny Worth. Danny looks at ball one. Worth has had to battle for playing time with the emergence of Andrew Romine, who has gotten majority of the playing time at short for the Tigers. But outside, 2 balls and no strikes.
Ausmus has done a nice job at making sure that he has kept the entire 25-man roster as fresh as he possibly can. I mean, you're not going to mess with some guys. You're just going to have to play every single day. But some of the role players, he has done a very nice job at making sure that he has gotten them some reps.
Yeah, you know Cabrera is going to have to be in the lineup every single day, but you mitigate that a little bit by DHing him every now and then. Martinez is going to play every day.
Perfect day off for Castellanos, as we mentioned. Torrey Hunter is going to get 2 days off.
Ian Kinsler has played in every game this year for the Tigers, so he really hasn't been able to be taking some time off at all. There's a strike call.
I think one of the things that has kind of kept a lot of the guys fresh, whether it be Kinsler or Miggy or Victor, guys that play every day, is the fact that the schedule was so inconsistent in the month of April. It was like guys were getting days off.
Yeah, no doubt. And the weather for the most part has been cool as well. Hit the other way, base hit. Holiday on his way to second. He will stop there. Danny Worth with a single to right.
Well, the Tigers know that Gausman right now does not have a feel for his off-speed pitches because he's thrown several. And with most of them, he's missed the strike zone. Base hit by Holiday on a fastball. Base hit by Danny Worth on a fastball. And that's a fastball that's right down the middle. I mean, I don't care how hard you throw. If it's straight in the big leagues, they can hit it.
So the Tigers flip the lineup over now. Here is Rajai Davis, his second at bat of the day. Struck out to start the ball game. Oh for 4 in the series now for Davis. 2 out and 1 out. We're in the top of the third, no score. Balled inside, 1-0. With his stolen base last night, Davis now has 13, which ties him for the American League lead with Jose Altuve. And he hit that one straight up. Shallow center field. The shortstop Hardy is calling. Davis is out. 2 gone now. This is what the ratio for Gausman looks like after 50 pitches. He's thrown 32 strikes. So Kinsler stands in. He struck out in the first on a questionable pitch that he took strike 3 on the inside part of the plate. And he hits that one off the pitcher Gausman. It's going to roll to third. No play for Machado, and the bases are loaded.
Gausman may have caught a break there. Kinsler still gets his base hit, but if he does not slow that ball down, looked like it was headed up the middle for an RBI. Maybe he didn't catch a break. Miggy's getting ready to step in that batter's box with the bases loaded.
There are no breaks in this game with Miggy coming up.
You have to rethink that.
So the Tigers have loaded the bases on a couple of infield hits and a solid single to right. And here comes Miguel Cabrera. And if you're wondering what he does with the bases loaded career, this guy hits .413 in these situations.
In his last 20 games against the Baltimore Orioles, his last 20 games against Oriole pitching, .494 batting average, 11 home runs in 20 games.
Oh, and 1 on Miguel.
Miggy was looking for the fastball because Gausman has thrown so many fastballs, and he was cheating. And even a guy like Miguel Cabrera would cheat on that first pitch fastball and swing at something that's out of the strike zone. That's just part of it.
Now, when you say cheat, you mean he opens up?
Open up the hips, looking for a fastball, something you can get out in front of. He'll take it the opposite way now. He'll lock in.
Drilled to left field. That's a base hit.
Special.
Holiday scores. Here comes Worth. He will come around, and he is safe. It's a 2-run single for Miguel Cabrera. RBIs 34 and 35.
Simply incredible. Take a look at where this location is of this fastball in the mid-90s. It is down, but it's over the heart of the plate. Look at Miggy lead with the bat knob, the concentration ahead, directly down on that baseball, and he whistles this ball right over the head of J.J. Hardy. Oh, my goodness.
Sometimes you just sit here and you wonder, man, this guy is fun to watch on a nightly basis.
Watching greatness on a day-to-day basis with Miguel.
So Verlander now has a 2-0 lead. Tigers score first here in this one, and Victor Martinez comes strolling in.
Buck Showalter, the manager of the Baltimore Orioles, told his team last year, when this guy comes to the plate, watch him, all his hitters. And because Miggy is so good, Buck Showalter simply said he is probably, if not the best right-handed hitter I've ever seen. And a lot of managers say that about Miguel. Watch what this guy does in the batter's box and see if you can pick up anything that might help you get a little bit better at what you do. I know the Tigers hitters benefit from watching Miggy on a day-to-day basis.
There's a strike call. I mean, you can watch Cabrera. I mean, but isn't there a point where you just have to realize that his skill level is just above most other guys?
That's a great point, but you can watch the way he takes batting practice. You could watch the way that he sets up pitchers. You could listen to him when he's talking to you about what pitchers might do to you, and that's what I'm talking about, the way that he can help you with his leadership skills.
Here's the 0-1. And Martinez takes outside, 1-1. 2-run single by Miguel Cabrera. The Tigers have a 2-0 third-inning lead.
A nice job by Holiday and also Danny Worth. And bottom feeders.
Yeah, they got it started. Holiday with a base hit. Worth went the other way. One ball, one strike. Victor flied out to left field his first time up. Bouncing ball right side, straight into the teeth of that shift. Throw to first will end the inning. 4-3 put out ends the frame. However, Miggy does it again. 2-out, 2-run single. And the Tigers have Tigers on top 2-0 on the Cabrera hit, and it's time now for you to tweet your photo using hashtag DetroitFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming game broadcast brought to you by AT&T. The hashtag DetroitFanPhoto. JV goes back to work, leading it 2-0 now as we go to the bottom of the third here in Baltimore. Jonathan Schoop leads it off, David Lowe to follow, and then Nick Markakis. Schoop at 232. 1 for 3 with a walk in the series. 2-0 the count on Schoop. Verlander a couple of strikeouts in that second. Got a 1-2-3. The 2-0. 2-1. Drilled and caught by Kinsler before it went into center field. Ball was hit hard.
It's good at bat by Schoop. He laid off a couple of pitches to get himself in a fastball friendly count and got that fastball, drilled it right at Kinsler, but Ian Kinsler a couple steps to the right, little mini leap, able to snare that line drive.
Verlander was ducking out of the way, and that missile back up the middle. Here's David Lowe, who has not started until today in this series. Former Kansas City Royal. 167 this year for Lowe with 3 RBIs. Pretty good rookie year last year with KC. Now Verlander with the 2-0 pitch. 3-0, and JV wasn't really too crazy about that last call.
Yeah, second consecutive batter that Justin Verlander has fallen behind.
JV doesn't really have to say anything. You can just tell by the body language. He'll look in a little bit longer after the pitch. There's a strike.
He's got a perfect delivery. Stands upright. Gets to a really nice balanced position. Separates the glove and the hand right over the top.
There's another strike. 3-2.
That's why he's so efficient.
40 now for JV. 23 strikes. And he lost him. He just missed it outside. 1 out, base on balls. Back to the studio we go now for a game break. Mickey York. All right, big thanks. So a fresh start for the Detroit Pistons. Welcome aboard, Mr. Van Gundy. Here is Nick Markakis, still in search of his first hit in the series. He is 0 for 9. Markakis flied out his first time up, 0 for 1. The average now is dipped below 300. It's at 299. David Lowe has 4 steals. Lowe had 5 steals all of last season with KC, but in his days in the minors, he was good for 20-25 stolen bases. Tigers on top 2-0 on the 2-run, 2-out single by Miguel Cabrera. 1-0 on Markakis. Markakis grew up a Boston Red Sox fan, which around these parts or anywhere else in the American League East doesn't go over real well, but Markakis growing up was a big Roger Clemens fan. That's why he wears the number 21 and has his entire career. The number Roger wore with Boston. Missing Lowe, 2 balls and no strikes.
It's like Justin Verlander. He wears number 35 because he used to enjoy watching the Big Hurt play, Frank Thomas.
Two balls, no strikes.
Verlander, of course, when he gets close to home, has to pitch in front of a lot of family and friends and had to leave 23 tickets today.
That's it?
Yeah, 23. Pocket change for JV.
That it is. Mannequin Sabant, Virginia is where Verlander was born, 31 years of age. Actually, I think it's Mannequin Sabbath. I ask him this every year when we come to Baltimore, and I keep forgetting the pronunciation.
No, you don't forget, do you?
No, I did, believe me.
You?
Yeah. Oh. It happens occasionally. You know, when you get to be 35 years old, that's what happens, Rod.
No, you live north of 50 now.
Thanks. Here's the 2-1. Fouled away. 2-2 the count. Here's Manny Machado waiting on deck. David Lowe with a 1-out walk. Orioles have had 2 base runners, a single by Jones in the first, and now the Lowe walk here in the third. Fouled right back to the screen by Markakis. Nick leads the ball club despite his struggles in this series in base hits. He has 46 hits this year. He's a Gold Glove finalist as well in right field last year. It's a position that he has manned for the last 8 years for the Orioles. Little chopper off the glove of Verlander. It'll change course. Kinsler picks it up though. Advance the runner. 1-4-3 on the putout.
I don't think this ball was hit hard enough to turn 2, but what would have happened had Verlander not slowed it down, they would have gotten that out at second base, and they would have kept Lowe out of scoring position, and there would be a runner at first base, not second.
So here is Machado. And he grounded out his first time up. In for a strike.
Hanging slider right there. Machado shaking his head like, you know, I should have swung at that pitch. And really the differential in speed's not that far off from the Verlander fastball.
Did he go? Yes, he did, said Paul Nart down at first base.
Back-to-back slide pieces thrown to the young phenom.
Machado just a couple of years ago was the 3rd overall pick in the draft. That was 2010. The year that Bryce Harper went #1 overall. Down the right field line, foul.
He's a shortstop by trade, but a couple of years ago, the Baltimore Orioles were having a pretty good year, but they were a very poor defensive club. So Bobby Dickerson, who was the minor league infield coordinator at the time, he's their third base coach now. He used to come out in the morning with Machado, and they would take ground balls at third base. No one knew what they were doing until they called Machado to the big leagues about 3 weeks after Bobby Dickerson gave Buck Showalter the okay that I think he can handle third base, and their defense in the infield has been the best in the big leagues since he came up.
Swing and a miss. That's it for Machado. He strikes out. Verlander has 3 of those here this afternoon. Nothing comes of the 1-out walk. 3 in the books here in Baltimore.
Here you go. Avila beat the shift, hitting a ball the opposite way. Rajai Davis stole second base, although he was called out initially. They had to overrule that play because they looked at it in New York. And then Torrey Hunter with the biggest at-bat of that inning. It was a base on balls with 2 outs. That set the stage for the big fella, Miguel Cabrera. And then Victor Martinez after Miguel Cabrera basically ripped the hearts out of the Baltimore Orioles and their fans. Victor did it again with his 9th homer of the season.
A lot of emotion in that Tigers dugout of that 9th inning. I mean, they could do nothing offensively all night against Ubaldo Jimenez. And Darren O'Day came on through a good inning, and then all of a sudden they got to the closer, Hunter, in the 9th.
And it was the shift that they employed there in the 9th inning with their third baseman, Manny Machado, playing the shortstop position against Avila, which opened up the floodgates.
Wasting the outing that Jimenez put together last night. J.D. Martinez starting things off for the Tigers here. It'll be Martinez, Jackson, Kelly. Ubaldo looked as good last night as we have seen him look.
He was nice.
Here's the 2-1. Out in front, 2-2 now on JD.
Better breaking ball there thrown by Gausman. He really did not have much of a feel for the breaking ball the first 3 innings, but he slowed that one down a lot more than the previous breaking balls that he had thrown today. So maybe that was it. He was throwing them too hard.
Gausman making his first big league start since June 13th of last year against the Boston Red Sox. We mentioned that he had 3 different stints with the big club last year. And the 2-2 inside. 94 with the fastball back him out of there.
Gausman has a chance to be the ace of this staff. This stuff is that good in the future.
Now the 3-2. Lost him. Leadoff walk. First base on balls issued by Gausman. He's going to break up Austin Jackson. Tigers 2 runs 4 hits and the Orioles no runs 1 hit. Jackson fly to center field his first time. Sends a ground ball to third. Machado, tough play, throws to second one. Relay, threw it away. And Jackson is safe at first base.
Outstanding feed by Manny Machado to their second baseman, Jonathan Schoop. I mean, he got it to him in a hurry because Machado had such a good arm, but it looked like Schoop was rushing a little bit because Martinez was right on top of him, and he threw a bad throw to first base. They weren't able to complete that double play. Manny is good over there.
Voted the best defender overall in the American League last year.
When did they start that platinum glove thing? They just start that?
You know, I'm not sure, but I read that this year when talking about Machado's bio, and I hadn't heard about it before. Apparently you've got something going on now with Schoop. Fingernail issue, something on the tip of his finger. Did he hit Martinez's helmet?
He may have. Kind of hard to tell. Nope, no helmet.
Not even close. Richie Bancel's their head athletic trainer is out to take a look at him. He's all right. One on, one out here in the fourth. And now Don Kelly will stand in. Tigers today have out hit the Orioles 4-1. Kelly lined out to the second baseman his first time up. See if Jackson has any thoughts of running. AJ this year is 5 out of 6 in stolen base opportunities.
Could it be that Schoop had his hand in the glove when he took this feed from Machado? Maybe that's what it is. Maybe he kind of nicked his finger because he has his hand real close to the glove, and maybe that's why he threw the ball poorly over to first base.
I'm not sure if it could be anything else. And clearly saw he didn't make any contact with the runner. 2-0 meanwhile on Don Kelly.
Jackson running a whole lot more these days. But if you're Brad Ausmus, you can also put on a hit and run here in the 2-0 count.
Nothing doing, and the count goes to 3-0.
Threw him a 3-2-0 breaking ball.
Holiday waiting on deck. In for a strike. 3-1. After Kelly, it'll be Holiday and then Worth, the right-hander Gausman, facing the bottom of the Tigers lineup. And the 3-1. 3-2 now on Kelly. Off day tomorrow for the ball club, and then they start a 3-game weekend series at Fenway Park against the Boston Red Sox.
Jackson will be on the move here on the 3-2 fastball with 1 out. And if you're Jackson here, don't look at it like you're banking on Don Kelly making contact. You have to approach this like you're going to steal second base. And if Gausman does strike out Don Kelly, you give yourself a little bit chance of stealing the bag. Get yourself a good jump.
Down the left field line, foul. Nice grab by a fan in row 1. Tiger fan.
Verlander fan.
Souvenir to bring back home.
Lots of pats on the back. Go back to the sunflower seeds.
Three and 2 on Don Kelly. We're in the 4th inning. Tigers have a 2-0 lead. 1 on, 1 out. Runner goes again, and there's ball 4, and now the Tigers have 2 men on. Second walk in the inning for Gausman. Pitch count right now at 72. That'll bring up Brian Holiday, who had an infield single which set up the 2-run inning for the Tigers.
They've got good arms in their outfield. And Markakis in right field has a great throwing arm. Adam Jones in center field, an above-average arm. Lots of assists for Jones last year. Low in left field doesn't have the strongest arm. His is a major league average arm.
Strike 1 on Holiday.
Adam Jones had double-digit assists last year from the center field position, which is tough to do.
Here's Gausman's 0-1, and now timeout is called. Holiday backpedaling out of the box, and Clevenger going out to the mound.
Well, he saw that Jackson was kind of inching his way off second base, as to the fact that he was going to try to steal third base once again this year. Jackson stole third base on that recent homestand. I don't remember if it was against Houston or Minnesota, but he did steal third base, and it was only the second time in Jackson's major league career that he'd stolen third base.
Yet another indication of how aggressive this Tigers team has been this year.
Kinsler and Davis have rubbed off on Jackson.
Here's the 0-1. Good block by Clevenger. This is how much more the Tigers have been running this year. 32 steals. They had 35 all of last year, and they were dead last with that number. They will not be dead last this year. Here's the 1-1. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Brian Holiday. Backup catchers got to get the starts when they can, but usually, especially as the summer goes on, those backup guys, man, they're playing Sunday games after night games. When the starter gets a day off, they get some of the tough duty, but it's a pretty good gig, though. And Holliday's done a nice job in backing up Alex Avila. Now Gosman's 1-2, runners go, and it's inside and low. Throw the third down in time.
Make that the third time now that Jackson has stolen third base in his major league career. A nice job by Don Kelly, able to steal his bag on the backside.
So now the Orioles will bring the infield in. Already down 2-0 here in the fourth inning. Tigers have second and third and one out. Double play taken out of order. Drill to center field. That ball is going to get down. Base hit. Jackson scores. Kelly rounding third. They will hold him up. It's a single. Second hit of the game for Holliday and an RBI.
DK didn't get a good read on that line drive. He should have known that that was going to be a base hit. Therefore, Holliday would have gotten 2 RBIs on that base hit right there. Good at bat by Holliday. He's had 2 really good at bats. That ball's going to drop all day, every day. But Don Kelly did not take off immediately. Therefore, Dave Clark was forced into holding Don Kelly up at third base.
5th RBI of the season now for Kelly, or for Holliday rather. Kelly at third, Holliday at first. And Justin Verlander has another run to work with. 3-0 in favor of Detroit. They're still batting here in the fourth inning. By the way, join us again Friday when the Tigers head to Boston and take on those Red Sox. Our coverage begins at 6 with Tigers Live. Tigers and Boston Friday night from Fenway Park right here on Fox Sports Detroit. Tune us in at 6.
That's going to be a good pitching matchup. John Lester against Max Scherzer. Doesn't get much better than that.
Gonzalez warming up now in the bullpen for Baltimore. And a bunt laid down on a squeeze. The run will score. Nobody covers first. Everybody is safe.
Outstanding call by Brad Ausmus. The first squeeze of the year completed perfect by the Detroit Tigers. And they're just beating the Orioles in every way imaginable. A small ball. Don Kelly takes off. Danny Worth gets the bunt down. And by the time Davis picks the ball up, the pitcher Gosman wasn't there. The second baseman Scope, he couldn't get there, and he gets himself an RBI and a base hit.
How about that?
First one of the year.
4-0 Tigers.
Perfect timing.
Here's Rajay Davis. Still only 1 out. And we'll get back out of play 0-1 on Rajay.
How about Holliday and Worth? Number 8, number 9 batters in Brad Ausmus' lineup here today. 4 for 4.
Really kind of typical of this entire season. The Tigers getting contributions literally from everybody. Holliday 2 hits and an RBI. Worth, same thing. Bouncing ball left side, foul, and the count is 0-2 on Davis. Pop up and a strikeout for Rajay in this game. And Gosman now is up to 80 pitches here in the fourth inning. Here's the 0-2. That'll get away from Clevenger and move the runner up to third. Holliday takes the extra base.
If you weren't with us earlier, we told you that the Baltimore Orioles were supposed to start a left-hander, but the Tigers have a very good record against left-handed pitching this year. Their record 9-2. And therefore, Buck Showalter went down to the minor leagues to bring this kid up, Gosman, to prevent his club from being swept this afternoon by the Tigers. That was going to be a tall task anyway. Tigers a good offensive club, despite the skill set of Gosman and Verlander. the opposing pitcher to Gausman today.
Here's the 1-2. Drilled to center field. Jones measures it. Runner will tag. Here comes Holiday. And the throw to the plate is off target. Sac fly, RBI for Davis.
Base hit, double steal, squeeze play, sacrifice fly.
Holiday has made his presence felt here in this contest. 5-0 Detroit.
Nice at bat there by Rajay.
So Gausman now has thrown 26 pitches in this inning. Davis's 11th RBI. Here's Kinsler. Tigers follow up their 2-run third with a 3-run fourth. Strikeout infield hit for Kinsler. Ian came in batting .354 in the month of May. Bouncing in, the count goes to 2-0. All 5 of the Tigers' runs scored by hitters 6 through 9 in this game. Bottom of the lineup doing a job. Runner goes and it's fouled back. As Brad Ausmus continues to keep the pressure on the Orioles.
Of the 85 pitches that Gausman has thrown, about 75% of them have been fastballs, and that's one of the reasons why he trails in this contest. Not much of a feel for his off-speed stuff. He hasn't been able to keep the Tigers hitters off balance. I mean, you look at Verlander, you look at guys like Scherzer, guys that throw hard. Their mix is usually about 50-50.
Now 3-1. Cabrera waiting on deck. Sure makes it awfully tough on a pitcher, doesn't it, when the hitter can pretty much eliminate some pitches.
And you're going up against a very talented offense that the Detroit Tigers will run at you.
High fly ball deep into left field. Ball is hit well, but Jones going to run it down at the warning track. Inning finally over for Gausman. Not before the Tigers put up a 3 spot. A lot of small ball in this inning for the Tigers. Some infield hits, some stolen bases, some Here in the fourth, they lead 5-0 as we go now to the bottom of the fourth inning. Kevin Gausman roughed up. Justin Verlander goes back to the mound. And he will face Adam Jones to start things off. The Bernstein advantage brings you the pitcher-batter matchup here, and Justin Verlander has the Bernstein advantage against Adam Jones. Look at these career numbers. He has struggled against JV. 9 strikeouts, 5 for 31 against Verlander. Jones and then Davis and then Cruz against the Tigers righty, who is now enjoying a 5-run spread, trying to run his record to 7-0 lifetime here at Camden Yards.
Tigers also trying to win their 8th game on a row away from their home ballpark in Detroit.
Well, the Orioles have not been a good match for the Tigers this year in terms of Baltimore's thinking. The Tigers have won 4 of the 5 of the season series against the O's. 1 ball, 1 strike on Adam Jones. Jones a 9-game hitting streak now. JV has fanned a total of 3 in this game. Here's the 1-1. 1-2 on Jones.
Hanging changeup there thrown by Verlander, but if the hitter is looking for that 94-mile-per-hour fastball and you throw him a changeup at 82, just the fact that they're off balance a little bit means they're not going to barrel that ball up.
That'll get foul down the right field line. Justin has allowed just 1 hit in this game, and it came back in the first inning. It was a single by Jones. That's been it. We've also picked up a walk, but they haven't had a whole lot going on offensively today against JV. Bouncing ball to first. Gloved off to the side by Cabrera.
Pick it, Miggy. Pick it, Miggy.
1 away here in the 4th inning.
Telling Adam Jones, sorry, buddy.
Here's Davis. I still believe that Cabrera is an underrated defensive player.
He's a good player, no doubt, and he was good at third. But no, he was good at third base too. I mean, he went over there, and a lot of people thought that he was going to flop, and he was really good over there. He won back-to-back MVPs playing third base last couple years.
Ball inside.
And he's not a Gold Glove defender, but he's an outstanding player.
Davis hit a ball to the right side of the infield that went down on the scorebook as a 5-3. But that's because Don Kelly is playing in short right field. That's how the Tigers employ this shift. They will take their third baseman, put him into right.
Yeah, how do you get 5-3 out of that position?
Well, Donnie's the third baseman. That's number 5, and that's how it goes. Even though he pulled the ball. 2-1.
Good changeup. Davis about screwed himself into the ground. Got that softball swing going today.
Three and one now on Davis. Hitless in 9 at bats in this series. Davis last year had 96 extra base hits. Everybody concentrated on the homers as he draws a walk, but he also had better than 40 doubles. Second walk for Verlander. Here is Nelson Cruz. Cruz no match in his first at bat. He struck out swinging. Cruz has hit 10 home runs this year. One of them was a grand slam. It was against Toronto back in the month of April. Former manager Ron Washington, as soon as he heard that Cruz was signing with the Orioles, said, well, he's going to have a big year there. Two really good ballparks to hit in. Of course, the last 8 years with Texas. That ballpark in Arlington. Ooh, he threw it behind him. It's going to go to the backstop. Cruz now staring down Verlander. And warnings are being issued by home plate umpire John Tumpain. Well, you'll recall the bench clearing incident of a couple of nights ago. And John Tumpain wasting little time. Way behind Cruz.
Well, if you're a home plate umpire, it's not very difficult to issue warnings after that pitch. Here's Monday. That was Bud Norris. He drilled Torrey Hunter right in the ribs with a 93-mile-per-hour fastball after Ian Kinsler had just taken him deep.
So the runner advances to second base. Cruz hits a ground ball back up the middle. Worth, nice play, but his throw is off the bag and the runner is safe. It's an infield hit for Cruz.
Danny Worth with his range, however, saved a run, preventing that ball from getting into center field. Nice range shown by Danny Worth. Acrobatic throw over to Miguel Cabrera, but the throw was off the mark.
So here is J.J. Hardy now with 2 men on. The Orioles threatening to score here. They've got him at the corners. And he popped him up behind home plate. Holiday. It's a big out, 2 gone.
For you catchers at home, you notice that Holiday, once he went for that pop-up, he had his mask in his hand. And then when he located where the baseball was, he made sure he threw the mask in a different direction to prevent himself from tripping over the mask. Nicely done by Brian Holiday.
Here is Clevenger. Ball 1. Clevenger batting .298, struck out against Verlander back in the second. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Foul straight back. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Here's one more look at what I'm talking about regarding Holiday going after the pop-up. Takes the mask off. He has the mask in his hand. He locates the ball and he throws the mask to the left because the ball is over to the right.
Two balls and 1 strike. So both benches have been warned here, which means that sometimes pitchers complain about that because then they're less likely to throw inside, because if you hit a batter, you can be ejected from the game if the umpire deems.
Yeah, there are so few guys that really pitch inside aggressively anyway these days. True. But the point is well taken. There has been some guys that have complained about that.
2 balls, 1 strike. That's why Showalter was out there barking at John Tumpain. Swing and a miss. 2-2 now is the count on Steve Clevenger. A bit of a mini jam here for Verlander.
Justin usually turns in his best work, and when there are runners in scoring position.
And Clevenger just got a piece of it, staying alive.
Justin's best fastball of the afternoon, 95 miles an hour thrown there to Clevenger on pitch number 70.
With one out, Davis walked. Advanced at a wild pitch, which was thrown behind Cruz. It's a bouncer back up the middle, should get him out of the inning. Worth tags the bag, and no damage done. No runs, a walk, a hit, 2 men left. We go to the 5th. Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by the Sam Bernstein Law Firm, official legal services sponsor of Fox Sports Detroit, and by the new Chevy Silverado light duty and heavy duty lineup. 5-0 in favor of the Tigers. They go for the sweep here of the Orioles. We are in the top of the 5th inning. Tigers have out-hit the home team 6-2. Got a wall side windows pitching change. Gausman is done for the day, and Miguel Gonzalez will take over.
Hey, Gonzalez checks in with a .478 earned run average. He has racked up quite a few strikeouts this year, 34 against 14 base on balls, and he's been in 8 games now.
He will face Cabrera. Martinez. Gausman lasting just 4 innings in this game, called up from the minor leagues to make the start against the Tigers today, and it was a fairly rough one. Partly because of this guy, Miguel Cabrera had a 2-run single against Gausman back in the 3rd. And Miggy now with a total of 35 RBIs. Which is going to put him 3 behind Jose Abreu of the White Sox for the league lead. Grounded foul, third base side.
Here's our Nissan drive of the game, and it was Miguel Cabrera's last time up. He got himself a fastball that was firm, and it was down, and he went down and got it, and he ripped it right over the head of a jumping J.J. Hardy, who played a couple of runs for the Tigers.
Here's the 1-1, swing and a miss.
Good off-speed pitch there thrown by Gonzalez.
Gonzalez won 11 games last year, made 28 starts for the O's.
Little change piece.
There's the 1-2, and it's bouncing in. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Teams really haven't changed the way that they were pitching Miguel Cabrera the first 3 weeks of the season, where he was rolling over everything. 65% of the balls that he had put in play the first 3 weeks of the season were ground balls. The last 3 weeks, those balls are fly balls the opposite way. That's why the batting average has gone up. But they're really still pitching him the same.
Rolled right to Scope at second base, and Miguel is out, 1 away.
So Miggy really just made an adjustment himself to get back to the things that led to his success since coming to the big leagues.
Here's Victor Martinez. This is the first relief appearance of the year for Gonzalez, who was pitching in the rotation. He made 7 starts this year. Victor is 0 for 2. Fly ball, ground out. Tigers had 5 runs, 6 hits, and the Orioles no runs, 2 hits. Ball 1. Two 2-0 now on Victor Martinez, who came into play today all of a sudden second in the league in hitting with a .336 average. Also second in slugging percentage. It's been that kind of start for Victor. Here's the 2-0. 3 balls, no strikes.
He just gets locked in. Every single plate appearance, he does not give away at bats at all.
J.D. Martinez waiting on deck. Three and 1. Victor trying to extend his hitting streak to 5 straight. And he walked him.
Tigers went back-to-back at last night's game against the closer Tommy Hunter. First it was Miggy, 3-run shot. Very next pitch off the plate inside at 96. And Victor able to keep that ball fair and hit it onto Utah Street. That bench was fired up, wasn't it?
I'm telling you, I haven't seen that much emotion really in the Tigers bench in a while, and they marked off the spot where that ball landed.
Mark off the spot.
See, they used the Sharpie, but there's the circle that eventually will have a little plaque out there, which will have Victor's name on it. X marks the spot where Victor's plaque will go. Victor aboard now with 1 out as J.D. Martinez digs in. Bouncer right back to the mound. Gonzalez, bad throw into center field. Everybody is safe. There'll be an error on Gonzalez reaching on a fielder's choice as Martinez.
Pitcher's fielding practice. And this is what they spend spring training doing. Throwing to the bases, working on pickoff plays, covering first base on ground balls to the right side of the infield. Gonzalez failed to execute that potential double play ball.
That'll bring up Austin Jackson. Reaching on a fielder's choice, stealing a base, scoring a run in the big Tigers 3-run fourth. There's a ball outside, 1-0. First error of the game for either team. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Swing and a miss. 1 ball and 1 strike on Jackson.
It's one thing Gonzalez can do, and it's one of the reasons why he's racked up so many strikeouts. He's got a plus breaking ball, and he'll throw it at any time. Doesn't matter what the count is.
He'll get fouled down the right field line. We mentioned that Martinez hit one to Utah Street. He becomes the first Tiger since Mickey Tettleton did it. But there's one problem with Mickey Tettleton's plaque out there. Check it out. They spelled Mickey wrong. It should be M-I-C-K-E-Y. It's M-I-C-K-Y Tettleton. They have not changed it. Victor, by the way, spelled V-I-C-T-O-R when they put Martinez's out there. Here's the 1-2. Outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, usually that's just a show you pitch by Gonzalez, the fastball off the plate. And so he can get to his breaking ball again at about 74, 75 miles an hour.
Fly ball, center field. Adam Jones measuring it.
Jackson got a hanging breaking ball there.
Second out of the inning. And the runners holding. Here's Don Kelly. Kelly a walk and a steal and a run scored in his last at bat. Gausman started, went 4, and now Gonzalez here in the 5th. And he has done very little to speed up the pace of this game. Kelly steps out on him. Ball low. Checked it, but he went, and the count evens now 1-1 on Don Kelly. Came in batting .314. Here's the 1-1. Way outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Tigers already came in with the best winning percentage in baseball, courtesy of their win last night. And Brad Ausmus has to be pleased in his first year as the skipper of this ball club. They came in at 23-12 today, the best winning percentage. It's high and away. 3-1 now on Kelly.
One of the things that you appreciated about Brad coming in is the fact that he knew, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that he inherited a pretty good baseball team. Tigers won 93 games last year, and he didn't really want to come in and change the entire culture. He just wanted to come in and kind of get his feet wet, see what was going on, and figure out the pieces that he had.
Soft line drive, base hit, center field. Here comes Martinez rounding third. Jones fires it home. It's cut off. Throw to third. Out there, but the run will score. It's an RBI single for Don Kelly. Victor Martinez scores. And the Tigers pick up their 6th run of the game. So as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning, Mickey Tettleton already has his marker out there. Well, Justin Verlander now has another run in which to work with. He is up 6-0 in this ball game. As we go to the bottom of the 5th inning, it'll be Jonathan Scope leading it off, then David Lowe and Nick Markakis. First pitch from JV is inside, 1-0 the count. Scope lined out his first time up, hit the ball sharply right at Ian Kinsler. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Drives this one in the air to center field, hit well. Jackson going back. He'll run it down, one away.
Here's our Comerica Bank game summary. Tigers got on the board first to third inning. Miguel Cabrera ripped a single into the outfield, driving in 2. Tigers weren't done there in the 3rd inning. Double steals by Jackson and Kelly set the stage for Brian Holiday. He drove in 2. And then the Tigers executed their first squeeze play of the year, laid down perfectly by Danny Work. Don Kelly able to score, and Rajay Davis drove in another run in that 3rd inning. So Tigers did everything right in that inning.
Lowe fouls it back out of play, 0-1. Just another example of how diverse now the Tigers offense has become. Had a squeeze in there, a sac fly, some stolen bases.
Kelly also got to third base on a wild pitch too. So heads up inning there by the Detroit Tigers.
And the Tigers have also hit some long balls in this series. Cabrera and Martinez last night. Kinsler the night before that. That's in for a strike. So it's not like the Tigers have gone from this home run hitting team to a team that all they do is steal bases and manufacture runs.
Well, Porcello pitched 6 innings on a couple days ago. He gave up 1 run. Smiley pitched 6 innings yesterday. He gave up 1 run. And Verlander hasn't given up anything yet. This staff, this starting staff, is really, really good.
Verlander's 1-2. Fouled away. How good are they, you ask? Here's the Tigers rotation. They are first in wins. They've got 17 wins this year. ERA in the mid-2s.
And Anibal ain't even pitching.
No, that's a good point. A soft line drive to center, a 1-out single for Lowe. And they've got Robbie Ray to step in and put together 2 really good starts in place of Anibal Sanchez, who will return to the Tigers rotation on Sunday in Boston. He'll be matched up with Jake Peavy. Here's Markakis. Orioles have just picked up their 3rd hit. And a strike called right at the knees of Markakis.
Verlander's been spotting that fastball in the low 90s on the outside black, the inside corner at the knees all afternoon long.
Justin in the month of May has really excelled. He is 15 games over 500 in his career in May with an ERA of 3.03.
Justin has a really good pickoff move since coming to the big leagues at the beginning of 2006. Justin Verlander has picked off 24. I think James Shields in that same span is on the top of that list.
Runner goes. Ground ball to second. Only 1 play. Markakis 0 for 3.
Here is our high-speed Xfinity pitch thrown by Justin Verlander. 95 he threw that last half inning. 76 with several curveballs today.
And the Tigers had backed in with 6 runs here this afternoon. Here's Manny Machado. relatively quiet crowd today. Not a whole lot to cheer about for the Orioles. Tigers got 2 in the 3rd, 3 in the 4th, 1 in the 5th. If the Tigers go on and win this ball game here today, they would move their road record to 11-4. And series coming up against Boston and Cleveland for the remainder of this road trip. Here's the 0-1. Machado, we mentioned, had the knee surgery in the offseason. Last September, he tore a ligament in his knee, stepping awkwardly on the base at first. The 1-1. Swing and a miss. He's down in the count now, 1-2. A shortstop in the minor leagues that has made the transition to third base in the major leagues flawlessly. A platinum defender last year in the American League.
In third base, not even his natural position.
And the 1-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Machado. Trying to get it to Jones, waiting on deck. Full count now, 3-2. Verlander has walked 2 here this afternoon. He has struck out 3. And Justin has not had a lot of those big strikeout games this year. His strikeout high is 8. He's had a few 7 punch-out games. Fouled away. You mentioned, Rob, that Machado and Bryce Harper both went in the top 3 in 2010. If you had to pick one of those guys to start your franchise, who would you say?
I'd probably go with him, Machado here.
I think I would too. And Harper just seems injury prone with the way he plays.
Yeah, he has spent quite a few days not on the field.
That one just missed. Ball 4. Third walk of the game now for Verlander. Just missed as Holiday held it there, an extra beat or 2. And Justin wanted it. So the Orioles still 1 swing away from getting back into this game, and here is Jones, who's 1 for 2. Pulled and right by down Kelly into left. Lowe coming around third. He will score, and the Orioles are on the board. It's a 6-1 ball game.
Adam Jones came into play today really not having a lot of success against Justin Verlander, but he's already singled twice in this game. He got a hanging breaking ball there from Justin, and he got out in front of it and ripped it right past the diving Don Kelly. It's a curveball. That's a good pitch for Jones to hit. And he drilled it.
Just the 4th hit of the game surrendered by Verlander, and Jones has his 22nd RBI. Here's Chris Davis. 2 on, 2 out. Goes the other way and fouls it off. 0-1. .236 for Davis. Despite a couple of losses in the first 2 games in the series, the Orioles still lead by a game and a half in the East. That's back up the middle into center field. Base hit. Machado rounding third. He will score, and Davis has an RBI single. Now 6-2.
And Davis hadn't done much in the series. Just coming off the disabled list, he's only played 4 games, and with each swing, he's starting to get back to his form from last year.
He was 0 for 9 in the series prior to that at bat, and he has his 14th RBI. Tiger leads 6-2 right now as Nelson Cruz stands in.
You just got to keep Nelly Cruz in the ballpark right here.
Ball 1.
And you know Cruz is locked in because the last time he was up there, Justin Verlander threw a ball behind his back. And both benches were warned.
Cruz then followed with a base hit. He is 1 for 2. A couple of hits in the series, a single and a double.
So he will try to lock in here like no one's business.
1 ball, 1 strike.
Nice slide piece at 86 by Justin. Ooh, that's a big lead pitch there. Can't throw a better slider. He's going to have to make all his pitches just like that.
1-2.
96. One of the things Clint Hurdle, the manager of the Pittsburgh Pirates, said that Verlander can do that really no one else can do. He could sit right around 89 to 90 miles an hour all afternoon long. And on any given pitch, he can just reach back and go get 97, 98.
2-out risk. Cruz at 333. Drilled in the air to left field. Rajai Davis back. Track wall. It is out of here. Gone. A home run for Nelson Cruz. Into the seats in left. 6-5.
Nelson Cruz is a free agent after this year. Went down and got a breaking ball. And in this ballpark, with his strength, able to hit it out of here.
Boy, you talk about golfing one out.
In this inning, you had Jones with a base hit, Davis with a base hit, and Cruz with a 3-run home run. 3 guys that Verlander has just absolutely dominated in his major league career. Baseball is a funny game, though, and there's no doubt that Justin Verlander woke up the Baltimore Orioles when he threw that ball behind Nelson Cruz's back.
So this will be the 8th man to bat in the inning. J.J. Hardy. RBI singles for Jones and Davis. 3-run shot for Nelson Cruz. His 11th home run of the year. And what was once a very comfy 6-0 lead is now 6-5.
5 runs has to be the most runs that Justin Verlander has given up in any start this year. It sure is.
1 ball, 1 strike.
And this is in a ballpark where he's never lost a game.
They came in 6-0. Not only that, but a 2.29 ERA in this yard. 1-2 to count. Three singles, a walk, and a 3-run shot. Bouncing ball to short. Danny Worth has it there. That'll end the inning. Big inning, though, as the Orioles climb right back into this game. brand new ball game indeed. A 5-spot. Cruz with a home run. Ourselves a ball game. 6-5 is the score. A big 5-spot for the Orioles in the bottom of the inning. Well, as promised earlier in the game, we have the AT&T fan photo of the game. Tweet your photo to #DetroitFanPhoto for a chance to be shown in an upcoming broadcast. It is brought to you by AT&T. Tigers now trying to rebuild their lead. Brian Holiday will stand in against Miguel Gonzalez. It'll be Holiday, Worth, and Davis in a 1-run game. Ball 1 low to Holiday. It's been a good game for Brian. A couple of singles. Scored a couple of runs. He's knocked one in. Here's the 1-0. Floats in for a strike. 1-1.
Against Gonzalez, you can pretty much go up there and sit on a breaking ball in your at-bats if it's early before you get 2 strikes, and you're going to get one. Yeah, the key is not to be jumpy at it. Simply try to take it the other way. If he hangs it, you'll be able to pull it because your bat will speed up automatically.
Two and one on Holiday.
What just happened in the 5th inning?
You know, I was sitting here looking at my score sheet going, what in the world? That 2-out walk to Machado, huge, was certainly big because it allowed Jones and Davis to come up. They came through. I mean, it lengthened the inning for the middle of their lineup, and as you mentioned, they had done nothing against Verlander in their careers, but they woke up today.
It was almost like that base on balls that Torrey Hunter got last night in the 9th inning against Tommy Hunter, which brought Miguel Cabrera to the dish.
And all of a sudden, the crowd has a little bit of a buzz to it now because their team has climbed back in it. 2-2 the count on Brian Holiday. There's Danny Worth on deck. Holiday with his 2 hits now has bumped his average up to 323. Swing and a miss. Gonzalez takes care of him. 1 gone here in the 6th.
Every pitch he threw to Brian Holiday was a breaking ball at different speeds.
Here's Danny Worth. Danny executing the squeeze beautifully back in the 4th inning. Driving in a run. There's a strike called on Worth. Ended up getting a base hit out of it because nobody was able to get there at first base to cover. So he is 2 for 2. The 0-1.
Talked about all the breaking balls that Gonzalez throws. He's from Guadalajara, Mexico, and a lot of general managers and farm directors, when you had young prospects, they would always send you down to Mexico to play winter ball in the offseason because they knew that you would get a lot of breaking balls and you would learn how to hit breaking balls. They throw lots of breaking balls when you play down in the Pacific League in Mexico. It's the winter league down there.
3-1 pitch. Lifted towards center. Jones coming over.
I played down there a couple of winters. I played in Hermosillo, and I also played in Guaymas, and I never saw that many breaking balls until I went down there.
Probably learned how to hit them. 2 outs. That'll bring up Rajai Davis. You enjoyed playing there, though, didn't you?
I had a good time. Guaymas was really nice because San Carlos was just right down the street from where we lived, and we lived in a real nice house, and our neighbor, he was a rich fellow. He had a big boat, man, and he took us all out on the boat. And I didn't fish, but I did go out there, and I ate the fish too when they brought it back.
Ball up high to Davis.
But it was fun, though. He had one of those big boats.
A rich fella, huh?
He was rich. He was well off.
Here's the 1-0. Shows bunt. And it's 1-1 now on Rajai. Gonzalez, originally part of the Angels system, was a Rule 5 pick by Boston and then eventually signed by the Orioles as a minor league free agent. Davis late that time, and the count goes 1-2. Gonzalez last year made 28 starts. This year 7 starts. This is his first relief appearance. 2-2. High towering fly ball. That's into left field down the line. Low going to the corner. Leaps. Can't get it. It's out of here. A home run for Rajai Davis. And the Tigers get one back. Number 3 for Rajai.
If you ever get to the ballpark at Comerica Park early enough to watch batting practice, you watch Rajai Davis and how far he can hit the ball to left field. Obviously, he is not a home run hitter, but every now and then, if he gets that one pitch that he can handle, in this case, it was a hanging breaking ball, and he gets out in front of it, he has enough juice to hit it out.
So that'll take a little bit of the sting out of the 5-run inning the Orioles had. A couple of rows deep into the seats and left. Here's Kinsler. Second RBI as well for Davis. He's knocked in 12 this year. Check swing roller to first. Kinsler didn't want to do that, and he's gone 3 unassisted. However, the Tigers get one back. The Davis long ball. We are headed to the bottom of the 6th inning. Rajai makes it 7-5. Here's some of the details of the game today as we go to the bottom of the 6th in our game summary. Cabrera has had a big series. He's knocked in a couple in this contest. The Orioles had a big 5th inning after falling behind 6-0. And the Tigers 7, 8, 9 hitters, well, they have done the job today.
What does Simo call them 7, 8, 9 hitters? The bottom feeders?
Bottom feeders. Well, they're eating today. They're doing a terrific job. Clevenger leads it off and looks at ball 1. Tigers get one of those runs back, though, on the home run by Davis. Clevenger scoping low here in the home half of the 6th. Strike called on the outer edge, 1-1.
Lowe got it going for them in the bottom half of the 5th inning with a base hit.
The 5th inning, which featured 5 runs. 1 and 2 on Clevenger.
Verlander usually does not yield a 5 spot, a number that crooked, in any inning.
Lefty is Kroll, the righty is Reed. In the Tigers bullpen. Fouled away.
As a matter of fact, just to give you an idea of how well Verlander has been pitching all year. He hadn't given up 5 runs in a game, but he gave up 5 runs in that 1 inning.
And it took Nelson Cruz picking a ball out of the dirt and hitting it over the wall and left.
Well, I knew he was going to lock in.
Here's the 1-2, and it's fouled straight back at the screen.
That's just kind of the way the game is played.
Hit hard to the shortstop and right at Danny Worth. That's automatic. 1 gone. Game break time. To the studio we go. Here's Mickey York. All right, Mick, thanks. The Angels trying to make a climb now. They came in 2 over the 500 mark. Still trailing Oakland by 4 in the West. Here's Jonathan Scope. Fouled away 0-1. Scope in the ball game, line out, fly out. He hails from the island of Curacao, which has produced some big leaguers. Here's the 0-1. Swing and a miss, 0-2.
Randall Simon was from Curacao, wasn't he?
He was.
Former Tiger.
And Scope actually was a teammates of Jerks and Profars when they were both on the Little League World Series team that won it all back in 2004. They were teammates. Profar, of course, one of the top prospects in baseball who plays for the Texas Rangers. And Scope actually came in the championship game against Thousand Oaks, California, and got the save in that game. Here's the 1-2. Low, 2 balls, 2 strikes. You like watching Little League World Series?
I do enjoy it.
It's cool, man.
Yeah, it's fun.
David Lowe waiting on deck. Verlander facing the bottom of the lineup here for the Orioles. 7-5 in favor of Detroit. Swing and a miss. Scope is gone.
Outstanding curveball there at 84 thrown by Verlander.
4 strikeouts now for JV, who has reached 109 pitches in today's game. That is popped up behind the plate. Holiday is under it. And JV has an easy inning. 1, 2, 3 they go. We go to the 7th.
He might just get one more inning today. fifth inning for the Baltimore Orioles, where they tacked the 5 spot on Justin Verlander. Jones, Davis, and Cruz had very little success against Verlander coming into the contest, but all were vital in the success of the Baltimore, scoring 5 runs in that inning. Jones with a single and a ribby, Davis with a single and a ribby, and the big blow by Nelly Cruz. It was a 3-run home run.
7-5, Tigers have the lead, and they will face a new pitcher now as we go to the top of the 7th here at Oriole Park. That'll be right-hander Ryan Webb in a wall side windows pitching change.
17th game now that Webb has been in, logging 15 total innings. The ERA is a shade over 4 at 4.20, 14 strikeouts, 5 walks.
Native of Clearwater, Florida, lives in Cincinnati, Ohio. Ryan Webb.
He's a hard thrower. His fastball will top out at 95. Average fastball about 92. He's got a slider, changeup to go along with that fastball. He'll also sink the fastball on occasion.
Well, he's going to have to face Cabrera, then Victor Martinez, and then J.D. Martinez.
And Baltimore playing the shift on Miggy. 3 infielders on the left field side of second base. And Miggy doesn't care about these 3 guys right there. He'll still be trying to hit the ball into the seats. There are a lot of managers out there that try to employ this shift to get into the hitters' heads. They'd love for Miguel to try to hit something the opposite way.
He's going to bounce right into the left side of that infield and the shift. J.J. Hardy throws him out. 1 gone. It's going to bring up Victor. Ryan Webb is a big boy, 6'6", 245.
He is a big one.
Big league time with San Diego. Miami. He was with the Marlins last year, appearing in 66 games out of the bullpen. A free agent signee in the offseason by the O's. Here's Martinez. Ball 1 to Victor. 0 for 2 with a walk. That's outside. 2 balls, no strikes. Here's the 2-0, and it's low and in. 3 balls and no strikes.
He's pretty much pitching around Victor. You got to kind of pick your spots. And you got Victor here, and then you've got a couple of right-handers after him. So he doesn't want anything to do with Victor.
Action in the Tigers bullpen. Al Albuquerque.
Everyday Al. He has pitched in 4 of the last 5 games. And this will be 5 of 6 if he comes in here today. Uh-oh.
Drilled to right field, base hit.
3-0 drilled.
1 on, 1 out.
He should have walked.
Hey, by the way, Saturday, May 24th, Tigers taking on the Texas Rangers. 4:08 start. 20th annual Negro Leagues tribute game. The first 10,000 fans receive a Detroit Stars replica cap. The phone number for tickets, 866-66-TIGER or tigers.com. Here's J.D. Martinez. Ripped to short. Caught there by Hardy. Hit it hard, but J.J. makes the play. 2 gone. And then Victor heads back to first base. Here's Austin Jackson. Got your day all planned out tomorrow in Boston?
We got a night out tonight, too.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll get in there early.
You want to hit the club tonight?
Which club are you speaking of?
We'll find one.
The club.
Get a hall pass on the road, you know. Got John Keating with us.
Well then. That key opens up plenty of doors right there. 0-1 the count on Jackson. Fielder's choice. Stole a base, scored a run back in the fourth. And he fouls it off the catcher Clevenger. The count is 0-2 on AJ.
I'm gonna get some good food over there. I know that much. What's that area? Is that called North Beach?
The North End?
North End.
Yeah, the North End.
Yeah, you can't go wrong over there.
No, you could literally throw a dart and you would hit a really good restaurant.
And you need to walk home after you eat there, too.
No doubt.
You can walk back to the house.
No cabs allowed. Runner going.
Oh, the
There's
steal.
Throw, and Martinez gets in with a steal.
Tigers have done that a lot under Brad Ausmus, and Brad is a former catcher, so this must have been a difficult play for Brad when he caught, because several Tigers have attempted this year. It's a delayed steal. You try to catch everybody sleeping, which Victor does. 3 hard shuffles, and then he takes off, and you saw the reaction of the catcher. Because you don't see that runner break right away, you think he's just taking his normal secondary lead. And Victor, you can't do it any better than he did right there.
He'll get into scoring position.
That is called a delayed steal. You know the team's running a lot when Victor's running.
Yeah, I was about to say that. When Martinez starts stealing bags, everybody's getting into the act. Second stolen base for Victor. Line foul down the right field line. Only his 6th career stolen base, and 2 of them have come this season.
Yeah, I'm looking right now, because I don't think he had one all of last year. None last year for Victor. In 159 games.
Swing and a miss. Jackson, though, is retired on strikes, and nothing comes of the single and the delayed steal. Albuquerque about to enter this contest 7-5 as we go to the stretch in Baltimore. 7-5 is our score as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. And we're talking about our plans with going to Boston.
Were you guys talking about me?
We understand that you know a few people in Boston.
Am I the tribal leader? Do I have to set things up for you guys? Do you not know your way to the library or the museum? Do I have to take you there?
Well, we just know that this is your first road trip of the year, and our road dog is back with us.
Listen, you're the only guy I know who's on a first-name basis with many bartenders around the league.
I'm a people person.
You are.
They know how I like my iced tea. I will leave it at that.
I thought you were an Arnold Palmer guy.
Arnold Palmer, sure, right in there. Brad Ausmus is looking forward to Boston as well. I don't know if you know this, guys, but he's got a place in Cape Cod about an hour and 20 minutes or so away from Boston. So he will spend the off day at his place in Cape Cod. So he is bi-coastal, and he told me that he actually should have bought someplace on a lake in Michigan. Then he would have been tri-coastal, but that would be overdoing it.
It would. I didn't know that about Brad.
Yeah, he told me that yesterday.
Really?
We were in the workout room, and he was talking about how his family spent summers in Cape Cod, and he still does that now with his 2 daughters and his wife.
All right, Keats, thanks for that report on Mr. Ausmus, and get the itinerary ready for Boston. We'll be good to go. Al Albuquerque will be taking over now for the Tigers.
Al's been good this year. 20 strikeouts, 4 walks. In his last 5 outings, he's had a total of 8 strikeouts.
High fly ball to right. J.D. Martinez under it. Markakis is out. Boy, it's been a rough series for Markakis.
That's what really good pitching will do. Markakis is an outstanding player, but the Tigers have ran some good pitchers at them. Smiley, Verlander, and also Porcello.
And Nick came in with an 18-game hitting streak, and now he's 0 for 12 in the series.
He'll be happy to see the Tigers get out of town. He might drive the bus to the airport.
Here's Machado. There's a big swing by Machado, 0-1. Walk and a run scored back in the 5th. Perhaps the biggest bat in that inning because it kept the frame going and brought the middle of their lineup up. And then all of a sudden Baltimore put a 5 spot up on Verlander and made a 6-0 game a 6-5 game.
You can tell that Machado is getting real close to breaking out. Just a hair late on the fastballs, and he's out in front of most breaking balls. His timing isn't just quite there yet, missing a lot of time on the disabled list.
Swing and a miss. Strikeout for Albuquerque.
That is his 21st strikeout of the year, and he's only walked 4 batters. The 4 base on balls is the biggest difference in Albuquerque this year. And if you're pitching in the 7th inning and you're pitching in the 8th inning, you can't walk people.
Not at all. And he's done a good job here in the 7th, retiring a pair. And nobody on. There is action in the Orioles bullpen. Patton, the right-hander, is starting to warm up. Adam Jones, the batter. Jones knocked one in with a base hit in the 5th. He's had a couple of singles in this game. Slider from Albuquerque missing low. Evan Reed, Ian Kroll both back up again in the Detroit bullpen. Two and one. Chopper slowly toward third. Kelly on the charge. Gotta hurry. And safe at first base. That's the 3rd hit of the game for Adam Jones.
Adam Jones takes a big swing and usually doesn't get out of the batter's box that fast, but this breaking ball was up and away from him, and he had to reach for it. And that kind of gave him one step going down that line, and that allowed him to beat the ball out.
See if the Tigers now are considering bringing Kroll in here against the lefty Davis.
Well, I think they are, because Ausmus sent Holiday out to talk to him to buy some time.
Another look at that infield hit. And it was awfully close. It appears that's going to be it for Albuquerque. The signal has gone to the bullpen. So Ausmus wants his lefty Ian Kroll here against Davis, who represents the tying run. Al will face 3 batters. And to the bullpen go the Tigers. Pitching change here in Baltimore. We'll be back.
The left-hander coming to the plate represents the tying or the go-ahead run. Brad Ausmus more than likely goes to Ian Kroll.
Lefty's batting .208 against Kroll. Davis 1 for 2, singled, and he knocked one in back in the 5-run 5th. In there for strike 1 on Davis.
I guess it really doesn't matter whether it's a left-handed pitcher or a right-handed pitcher. The Tigers still employ the same type of shift against Davis, with Don Kelly of the third baseman playing shallow right field.
In there for a strike. Fastball from Kroll at 93. So he quickly gets ahead of Davis. No balls, 2 strikes. 7-5 Tigers lead. We're in the 7th. Two-out infield single by Jones, keeping this inning going, signaling the end of Albuquerque. Tigers at one point in this game had a comfy 6-0 lead. It's now 7-5. Davis just got a piece of that one to stay alive.
Here's that close play at first base with Jones getting an infield single. And after this, Jeff Jones, pitching coach, gets on the phone. I'm sure Matt Martin's on the other side. He hangs it up. And then he tells Brad Ausmus, safe. So they didn't challenge that close play at first.
Ball high, 1-2. Matt Martin underneath is a guy that is critical to the Tigers because of what he does with instant replay and giving Brad Ausmus the yay or nay, but you never see him. Here's the 1-2. He hit it the other way, but right at the shortstop, or the third baseman, I should say. I'm not sure who that was. It was an infielder. Tigers still lead by 2. You're watching Tigers baseball at Fox Sports Detroit, presented by Bell Tire. Inning here at Oriole Park at Camden Yards. How about the Subway in-game box score for the Tigers? You're going to notice one thing. The bottom of the Tigers lineup today, Rod, has really produced an awful lot.
It's good, and I think the reason for that is these guys are getting reps. So Kelly's playing. Holiday gets some playing time. Worth also able to get in there. So when they do get a chance to play, it's not foreign to them. A lot of times managers don't use their bench players as frequently as Brad does, and I think that's why these guys are not doing bad this year.
Troy Patton has come on now to take over for the Orioles.
Only 3 2/3 innings so far pitched for Patton. 5 games, which means he's a left-handed specialist. He's done okay. 2.45 ERA.
So it'll be Don Kelly to start things off for the Tigers. Bottom 3, Kelly, Holiday, Worth facing the left-hander. Troy Patton out of Spring, Texas.
And Buck Showalter has 3 left-handers and 3 right-handers in his bullpen, along with the closer, Tommy Hunter. Hunter is a right-hander himself.
Nice day for Don Kelly. Walk, single, RBI, run scored, and a stolen base. Lifted back out of play, and the count goes 0-2. His action of the Tigers bullpen, that would be the 8th inning guy, Jabba Chamberlain. Jabba did not pitch last night. Miller pitched 2 scoreless innings late in that game. Patton tried to hit the outside corner, couldn't do it.
Patton's got 3 pitches. Got a fastball that averages 89, tops out at 92. He has a slider and a changeup. Throws more changeups to the right-handers than the left-handers. Drop down to a tricky arm slot there against Don Kelly.
Seven runs, 9 hits for the Tigers in this one. 5 runs, 7 hits for the Orioles. Detroit trying to complete a 3-game sweep prior to heading to Boston. Outside, 2-2 on Kelly. Patton takes over for Webb, who threw a scoreless 7th. Gonzalez a couple of innings out of the bullpen for the Orioles in place of the starter Kevin Gausman. Another foul straight back. Patton originally got to the big leagues with the Astros. He went around. Strike 3 called on Kelly. One out. It's going to bring up Ryan Holiday. A couple of hits for Holiday, RBI, 2 runs scored. Ball 1. Verlander went 6 innings in this game. JV gave way to Albuquerque in the 7th and Kroll as well. One ball, 1 strike on Holiday.
And I told you Patton will throw quite a few changeups to right-handers. He does not throw changeups to the left-handed batters. More breaking balls to the lefties. We're going to go back-to-back changeups here.
And he pushes a bunt down the third base line, foul.
Brian Holiday is a good bunter. He told the story after he got a big bunt base hit. I believe it was in Chicago. With 2 outs and a runner on third, he was able to get an RBI and a base hit. He said his mom, when he was very, very young, taught him how to bunt.
The 1-2. That's popped up. Right side of the infield for Scope. 2 gone.
Here is the Coliseum call of the game. Runner on third in the 4th inning with 1 out. Danny Worth standing in the batter's box. Don Kelly on third base. Squeeze play executed perfectly. And not only did Worth get that RBI, but he got himself a single too because no one covered first base.
As it turned out, the Tigers would need every one of the runs they had picked up in this game because of the 5-run 5th inning for the Orioles.
Yeah, it's tough to sweep a good major league team in a 3 or a 4-game series, but the Tigers have a legitimate shot of doing so today, but it's never easy.
Worth has knocked in 5 this year now in limited duty. One ball, 1 strike. Danny has been a lesson in perseverance over the course of his career, up and down with the Tigers, between their AAA team in Toledo and the big league team in Detroit. It's a hard ground ball to second, scooped up by Scope. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Patton. To the bottom of the 8th we go.
Bottom half of the 8th inning, and one of the reasons why the Baltimore Orioles have that 5 spot on the board today, it's Nelly Cruz. It's our Jimmy John's freaky fast delivery of the game. Went down to the bottom of the zone with 2 strikes and got a breaking ball from Justin Verlander and hit one of those Camden Yards home runs.
So it's going to be Cruz here in the 8th to lead it off, then Hardy and Clevenger. And the Tigers have brought in their 8th inning man. That would be Jabba Chamberlain.
Jabba is the 8th inning guy these days for Brad Ausmus's Tigers. And that 7th and the 8th and the 9th inning has kind of solidified itself because the starting rotation, when they go out there, they usually go 7 innings a night. And they're usually winning when they leave the game.
So the Tigers trying to survive a 5-run 5th inning from the Orioles after jumping out to a 6-0 lead. They lead 7-5 going into the bottom of the 8th. By the way, fans, follow every Tigers game with MLB.com at bat on your favorite mobile phone or tablet. Get live look-ins, instant replay, scores, stats, audio, and a whole lot more. Download on the App Store or visit Tigers.com. So Chamberlain will go to work now in the 8th. Tigers have used Albuquerque, Kroll, and now Jabba. Nelson Cruz leads it off. In for strike 1. High fly ball. Center field, Jackson under this one. 1 out. So Cruz now 2 for 4. Here's J.J. Hardy. I've often talked about, Rod, how critical it is a lot of times for bullpens to have their roles defined. Last year, the Tigers didn't quite know who was going to close games, and that really had a trickle-down effect.
It does, because when you know exactly when you're going to pitch, and you can start to get loose. I mean, if it's a winning situation, if you're Jabba, you know you've got the 8th. If you're Albuquerque and Kroll, you know you're going to be in there in the 7th. Evan Reed, he knows the 6th inning is his if it's a close game and the Tigers are in the contest.
In for a strike. 1-1 on J.J. Hardy.
Tigers pitchers really came in here and did a number on Baltimore Orioles batting, except for the 5th inning here today against Justin.
Pulled through a base hit. And Hardy has his first hit of the afternoon.
But before that, Verlander was simply cruising.
So that will bring the tying run to the plate. Clevenger, the batter. He's 0 for 3. Justin's still the pitcher of record in this game, despite giving up the 5 runs in the 5th inning. He can still win it if the bullpen is able to shut it down. Bullpen needs 5 more outs. Ball 1. Chamberlain averaging 13.5 strikeouts per 9 innings. That slides in for a strike, and the count evens now 1-1. Action in the bullpen now for the Orioles. Darren O'Day and Brian Mattis are warming up. Clevenger had that big game on Friday night, a 3-hit game, getting the start here this afternoon, but the Tigers have held him to 0 for 3 so far. 1 on, 1 out in the 8th. Ball high. 2-2. Able to get back out of play, straight back behind home plate. Waiting on deck. Jonathan Scope, the number 8 hitter. Orioles still came in with a 1.5-game lead in the American League's East Division. In fact, they're the only team in the East that is over 500. Checked it. Did not go, said third base umpire Bob Davidson. So now it's 3-2.
Good call.
Line drive, fair ball down the left field line. Hardy will go to second. Clevenger has a hit, and now the Orioles have the tying runs aboard here in the 8th. It's going to bring up Jonathan Scope.
Nice piece of hitting here by Clevenger. Fastball up in the zone. Didn't try to do a whole lot with it. And simply hit it over the glove of Don Kelly the opposite way.
That'll be the 9th hit of the game now for the Orioles, so both teams with 9 hits. Scope is 0 for 3. Big swing by Scope. 0-1 on the Orioles second baseman. David Lowe due next. You've seen Chamberlain just once, and he's 1 for 1 against Java. He got Cruz to fly out to start the inning, and then base hits by Hardy and Clevenger. Fouled away.
That last pitch, Java got away with one. In this ballpark, or hanging sliders go a long way.
Got him, strike 3. Caught looking, big strikeout there for Chamberlain. 2 gone. Six strikeouts now for Tigers pitching in this game. And it's up to David Lowe. Oh, 1.
Better breaking ball there, buried at the bottom of the zone. That's a curveball at 78 thrown by Java.
Singles by Hardy and Clevenger. They are the tying runs here in a 7-5 game in the 8th. Lowe takes it way inside. Tigers trying to win their 8th consecutive road game. 1-1 is tapped foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes on David Lowe. Now Chamberlain with 1 strike away here from pitching out of trouble in the 8th inning. Ball high, got away from Holiday, not far enough though. 2-2 on Lowe. At the top of the order, Nick Markakis waiting on deck. Tiger bullpen trying to give Verlander a win here. Justin went 6 innings in the game. And the 2-2. That was the 20th pitch for Chamberlain here in the 8th inning. Outside now the count fills at 3-2, which means the Orioles, who have the tying runs on, will be able to start the runners. And there's Markakis waiting on deck. Three and 2 on David Lowe. Here it is. Walked him to load the bases. 2 singles and a walk. And now the go-ahead run is at first base. And that'll bring Jeff Jones out of the Tiger dugout. Well, you hate matchups like this because Markakis is due. Breaker hung up high for ball 4. So Markakis, who is 0 for 4 and 0 for 12 in the series, had the chance to tie this one up with a hit. Well, Markakis in his career has had some success against Jabba Chamberlain. How about 5 for 12? Now the crowd getting back into it here. Orioles 1 hit away from tying it up. In for a strike, 0-1. Driven in the air to center field. Jackson on the run. Gets there for the final out of the inning, and they will leave them loaded. No runs, 2 hits, a walk. Take a deep breath and go to the 9th. Complete the sweep here. Java Chamberlain pitching out of trouble in the bottom of the 8th inning. They left him loaded, and he gets a congratulations from his catcher Brian Holiday. So the Tigers will try and add on here as we go to the 9th. They lead by 2. They will face a new Baltimore pitcher, and that would be left-hander Brian Mattis.
And Mattis has kind of found his way in the bullpen. He came up a few years ago. They thought he was going to be a top of the rotation starter for them, but didn't work out for him as a starter. But in the bullpen, he's been pretty good. Fastball, slider, changeup, and a curveball. Mostly fastballs and sliders.
He made that transition last year, appearing in 65 games out of the bullpen for the Orioles. Here's Rajai Davis to lead it off. And he drives one on a line to the left fielder, caught by Lowe.
That was a frozen rope.
Rajai's hit the ball hard in this game. Got a home run in the contest. Here's Ian Kinsler. One for 4 for Kinsler in the game. Tigers 7 runs, 9 hits. Orioles 5 runs, 9 hits. Ball 1 to Kinsler. Fouled away, and the count goes 1-1. Orioles, when we get to the bottom of the 9th, will have 2, 3, and 4. So they'll have some pretty good hitters coming up. Machado, Jones, and Davis. Popped up and headed back to the seats. 1-2 on Kinsler. Tigers spread their scoring out a little bit. They got 2 runs in the second, 2-run single by Cabrera. As Joe Nathan warms up. They added 3 more in the 4th. 1 in the 5th, 1 in the 6th. Here's the 1-2. Mattis first got to the big leagues in 09 after spending very little time in the minor leagues. Former #1 pick. There's a high fly ball, shallow left center. Adam Jones there. And there are 2 gone now. Well, Thursday, MLB on Fox Sports 1 returns as the Padres take on Joey Votto and the Reds. Action starts Thursday at 12:30 Eastern on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Now Miguel Cabrera with 2 outs. Strike 1 right at the knees on Mickey. 35 RBIs now for Cabrera, courtesy of his 2-run bases loaded single back in the 3rd. Another strike, 0-2. Mattis went 4th overall in the 2008 draft. Way outside.
Mattis has that above average changeup that he throws to the right-handers quite frequently. If he does throw Miguel one, he better get it down. If he leaves it up, Miguel will hit it.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. Ooh, got him, strike 3.
Maybe he might have been sitting on that change piece.
1-2-3, 9th inning for Mattis. The closer, Joe Nathan, about to check in, protecting a 2-run lead.
Look at our Bell Tire pitch by pitch. Tiger bullpen so far has been really good. Albuquerque came in the 7th, got a fly out, got a strikeout. Kroll needed 1 out to get out of that inning. Then Jabba comes in for the 8th inning, and he does his job. Although the bases were loaded, he was able to get out of the situation that he created by getting that final batter to fly out to center field. That was Nick Markakis.
So it's 7-5 as we go to the bottom of the 9th inning here at Camden Yards. 7-9-0 for Detroit, 5-9-1 for the Orioles, and the Tigers have brought their closer on now. Joe Nathan
got his 9th save of the season last night against the Baltimore Orioles, looking for number 10 here today, I should say.
Kind of feels like night.
Yeah.
It's been cloudy and overcast all day. Lights have been on all day. So here we go, 3 more outs to get, and the Tigers have themselves a sweep, but it's not going to be easy. Machado, Jones, and Davis. Manny Machado in the game. It's 0 for 3, has a walk and has scored a run. First pitch swinging, fouled back out of play.
He's been doing a lot of that the entire series, and he's been late on a lot of the fastballs that he's gotten.
Swing and a miss. 0-2.
Joe Nathan has 4 pitches. He has fastball, curve, slider, change, but doesn't usually use all 4 of them. Mostly fastballs and sliders. Here comes another slider.
Did not go. Nathan came in tied for 4th in the American League with his 9 saves. He's allowed only 1 run in his last 11 outings. That's an ERA of 0.82 in that span.
Ooh, why not, John Tumpang?
2-2. Bouncing ball to third, gobbled up by Kelly. 1 up, 1 away. Right now, let's check in with John Keating with a preview of Tigers Live postgame.
All right, Mario, thanks. It should be an interesting version of Tigers Live. We'll talk of the pitch behind Nelson Cruz and the one that he hit out. A big Orioles comeback. The Tigers trying to hang on. The thoughts from Justin Verlander and Brad Ausmus and assorted members of the Tigers. Mickey York and Craig Monroe at our Call Sam studios immediately after the game here on Fox Sports Detroit.
Thank you, John. Appreciate it. We look forward to that. Here's Adam Jones. Singled in a run back in the 5th.
Man, be careful on the first pitch to Jones. And he takes that fastball right down the middle. Jones usually one of those guys that loves to swing at the first pitch, whether it be a breaking ball, whether it be a fastball. Did that a couple of times today against Justin.
Here's the 0-1. Last time the Tigers swept here at Camden Yards, you've got to go back to 2005, and in the 3rd game of that sweep, Craig Monroe had a 3-run homer in that contest.
Simo
went deep. Tigers trying to finish off the sweep here. They got 2 more outs to get.
Simo, television star now.
Here's the 0-2. A little bit high. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Davis on deck. Slice to right field. And caught by J.D. Martinez.
It's a good thing that Adam Jones wasn't looking to pull the baseball like he normally does. And he was basically taking what the pitcher gave him, which was to drive the ball to right field, because that was a hanging breaking ball there by Nathan.
One more out to get. It is Chris Davis with the bases empty. One for three for Davis. Single hit a run in the 5-run fifth. Also has a base on balls.
It's a curveball there thrown by Nathan, the first one he's thrown of the inning. Didn't finish that pitch, didn't release it out in front.
Two and one.
That's that area where you can get some big, strong, physical left-handers to swing right through that fastball in the mid-90s. Just a touch above the belt buckle.
Strike called on the outside corner. 2-2 now. Chris Davis, one more strike to get, and the Tigers have their sweep. Davis just got a piece of that one to stay alive.
And if the Tigers do get the sweep, they will have had contributions from just about everybody on the 25-man roster in the 3 days they've been here in Baltimore.
Just the way that Brad Ausmus likes it. Torrey getting the day off today. Danny Worth having a big day. A couple of key at-bats in this contest. Bottom of the lineup doing well.
Ooh.
Oh, where was it?
Brad said, bring him up. He missed that one.
Got a strike.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, Nathan now with a count of 3-2. Cruz waiting on deck. And he walked him.
Oh my goodness.
Pitch better not come back to haunt the Tigers. 2 out base on balls. Now you got to deal with Cruz.
These guys were teammates last year, so if anyone knows the strengths and the weaknesses of Nelson Cruz, it's Joe Nathan.
Cruz, a 3-run shot in the 5th inning. He is 3 for 8 with a strikeout hit by pitch against Nathan Career.
You got to keep it away from Nelson Cruz. He does have a lot of power, but not a lot of power the opposite way. Good power to straightaway center field, outstanding power to left field.
Ball 1. Tying run at the plate of a 2-out walk to Chris Davis. 11 home runs now for Cruz. What a start to this season he has had. Fouled away, and the count evens now. 1 ball, 1 strike. Only Jose Abreu has hit more home runs in the American League than Cruz. He's got 14.
Talked about his power. The mad power to left, good power to center. He doesn't go this way very often. So if you're Nathan, you want to try to force Nelson Cruz into hitting the ball in that direction. And if he beats you there, tip your hat to him. But don't let him yank it to left field.
Here's the 1-1. One and two on Nelson Cruz. 2 outs, 9th inning, a man aboard. 7-5 Detroit. Davis worked a walk. And the 1-2. Outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Tiger bullpen today. They've used Albuquerque, Kroll, Java Chamberlain, now Joe Nathan. J.J. Hardy waiting on deck. And the 2-2. Bouncing ball to short. Danny Worth has it there. Cruz is out of the Tigers sweep. No runs. A walk. 1 man left. Cabrera knocks in a couple. The Tigers hold on to win 7-5 over the Orioles. And for Detroit, they win their 8th consecutive road game. What an effort today for the Tigers. They lead Baltimore with a 3-game sweep for the first time since 2005. As Joe Nathan is able to nail this one shut, and the Tigers win 7-5. We'll be back.